Hello, and welcome to Spoiler Alert, where I tell you how something was that isn't yet. This week we're looking at Magic the Gathering's latest set, Fate Reforged. As you might recall, last set, Khans of Tarkir introduced us to a world in which dragons are extinct, and that did not sit well with the multiverse's #1 dragon fan. No, not her, the other one. No, not Sarkhan Vol, I mean Sarkhan, thank you. Now we can assume that Sarkhan finally found the 7 mystical Dragon Balls to make a wish because he has summoned the Eternal Dragon, Ugin, and he is in Tarkir's past like a kid in a candy shop. Seriously, there are dragons everywhere and he loves it. This to him is the good old days, whereas everyone else thinks of it as the era of flying fire and death. So, you know, tomato tomato, really. As it turns out, the dragons on Tarkir are incredibly diverse, and the most powerful among them have their own broods. The family kind of brood, not the emo kind. And those dragons are, of course, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, Trogdor, Toothless, Dragonite, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reign of Terror. Each of these dragons has been feuding for decades with the 5 clans on Tarkir, and without Sarkhan's involvement, they are fated to die. But Sarkhan knows the dragons and the clans can live together in harmony. They just need some sort of guide for how to train your dragon. And speaking of the clans, we get to see their origins and some of their first Khans in Fate Reforged. They're the Jeskai, the martial artists, where my Chrome Dome would be most likely to fit in. Ironically, they focus on having a healthy mind-body balance despite being red, white, and blue. They're led by the Khan Shu Yun, who teaches martial arts through the wax-on, wax-off school of thought. Unfortunately, cars have yet to be invented, but judging by his lack of body hair, I can guess what they used instead. Then we've got the Sultai, the clan of ruthlessness. They inhabit decadent necropoli. They take hedonistic pleasure cruises, and they have zombie slaves waiting on their hand and foot. They are still less corrupt than anything I saw in The Wolf of Wall Street. They are led by the Khan Tasigur, who is Tarkir's inventor of the selfie. The Timur are a feral clan, well known for punching bears and less well known for missing arms. Their Khan, Yasova, is in fact a crazy cat lady who just decided to go with quality over quantity. The Mardu are a clan of raiders, renowned for their ferocious speed and their disappointed girlfriends. Their Khan is Alicia, who smiles at death, who is clearly from Bravos.
What do we say to the god of death?
And finally, the Abzan are a clan of families known for their great endurance and their happy girlfriends. Ironically though, their mechanic Outlast really didn't last that long. Their Khan is Dagatar, who is obsessed with taking hostages so that there will always be a prisoner of the Abzan clan. Despite their struggles with the dragons though, Narset has discovered ancient texts revealing that the clans were stronger, better, when they had to face off against the dragons, which is why in the next set, Dragons of Tarkir, the Mardu now build orphanages rather than fill them, the Timur now give bear hugs rather than bear punches, and the Jeskai allow their monks to have the crazy hairdos they always dreamed of. Also, the Sultai have disbanded. There was no way to improve them, they were just terrible, terrible people. But enough of the plot. I assume you care about the cards, so let's look at a few. The card Hooded Assassin implies that there is any other type of assassin. Mardu Shadow Spear and Mardu Strike Leader prove that the Mardu do not like windows. Noxious Dragon makes other dragons wish he'd manifest some deodorant. Orc Sureshot is Boromir's worst nightmare. The Arishan Warbeast just wants to give you a hug. Whisperer of the Wilds is Rattleclaw Mystic's great-great-grandmother. Abzan Advantage is really just another term for white privilege. Monastery Master is tired of being mistaken for the Avatar, master of all 4 elements. Then we have Rally the Ancestors.
Call out for egg rolls!
Lotus Path Jin insists you ain't never had a friend like him. We've got Fearsome Awakening, which begs the question, if they could revive dragons this easily, why the hell did Sarkhan have to time travel again? Temporal Trespass does not have Liliana on it, but it is the favorite card of our favorite Brit in a blue box. And finally we have Fruit of the First Tree, and I have to say lady, you really don't want to eat that. It doesn't end well for you. Well, that's it for this week's Spoiler Alert. Now, normally this is the point where I show you some ads for the other episodes I've done, but let's do something a little different this week. See, I bought all of these little figures, and I made some comics with them the way Mark Rosewater does, so I figured I'd show them to you and hopefully you'd get a laugh out of that at the end of this episode. Here they are.